In the war on Ukraine, Russia has targeted Kyiv for the first time in more than a month. Missiles rained down on Ukraine's capital yesterday, while both sides kept on fighting for control of a key city in eastern Ukraine. The war has never been bloodier. Ukraine says it's losing between 60 and 100 troops per day, roughly twice the number of Americans lost daily at the height of the Vietnam War. Russia now occupies 20% of Ukrainian territory. It is day 103 of Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
Yoshiko Herrera is a professor of political science at UW-Madison, a frequent guest here on Live at 4. She is an expert on Russia. Yoshiko, welcome back. Good to see you.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
So on day 103, can you give a general assessment about the status of the war, where things stand now?
Well, most of the fighting is in the east, in the Donbass region, and it's actually quite fierce fighting, but it's limited to certain areas. It's changing every day. I think it's important to note it's not really a stalemate in terms of calm. It's more of a intense battle in a few areas. But Russia's goals overall have been much scaled back. If you recall, they initially tried to take over the whole country, tried to invade Kiev, the capital, and now they have been pushed back and are focusing on some key cities in the east.
And Ukraine's military is losing 50 to 100 soldiers a day. That's extreme.
Yeah, it's a high number. It's not clear exactly what time period or what goes into that. So we can't say with certainty, but it is a high number. And there's speculation about how many troops Russia has lost. A general was just killed yesterday, another general. And there's debate about how many troops Russia still has in terms of deploying, in terms of trying to take over the actual territory that they have made military advances on, because they've done a lot of shelling, but they haven't actually established governance or control in most of the areas where they're currently occupying.
Russian President Vladimir Putin issued another threat that if the Western nations don't stop providing Ukraine with weapons, Russia will bomb targets that it has not hit yet. Do you have any idea what that means?
Well, Russia has constantly made threats about supplies and about escalation, etc. And I think that right now, the West and the United States are focused on supporting Ukraine, sending arms to Ukraine, helping the Ukrainians fight this aggressive war, and not taking the threats from Russia very seriously, because it's just a pattern that we've seen before.
Okay. What do you think it's going to take to end this conflict?
Well, that's the big question. Unfortunately, both sides are quite committed to fighting at this point. And so a lot of it is a matter of equipment and material and who actually has the resources to continue. So that's one part of it. But another part is the motivation. The Ukrainians are very, very motivated to maintain their statehood and to stop this Russian threat and aggression. But Russia also has a history of fighting wars in which they are willing to lose a lot of soldiers, a lot of casualties, and willing to inflict a lot of damage, as they did in the second war in Chechnya. So both sides are very, at the moment, committed to continuing. So I don't see a ceasefire or any kind of negotiated settlement in the immediate term, but I think the next month is going to be pretty critical to see how this war in the eastern part of the country goes and whether the Ukrainians are able to push back Russian troops. I think that's going to be very important.
We'll keep an eye on things, and we'll check back with you soon. Thanks for being with us today.
Yoshiko, great to see you. Thank you so much.